Good morning. I can't lie to you. It's 5:53 p.m. so it's definitely not morning, but I did just step out of the shower. It is quarantine time, baby, and I thought this would be very interesting, fun, educational, historical, and a little bit hysterical to document a week in quarantine because of Corona. I know that the news and updates on this is literally changing by the hour, but yesterday the state of Minnesota declared a state of emergency, and like 20 years from now, this is going to be in textbooks. This is going to be what either our children or our grandchildren learn about in history one year, and their homework is going to be to go home and ask grandma and grandpa or mom and dad, hey, what was it like during the coronavirus pandemic? It's different when you live through something versus when you learn about it in school as a child. It's gonna make a lot of history. Who knows with technology, but like videos like this someday, this is gonna be historical too. I just want to document my week in quarantine. Basically, this last week felt very normal. Like, I knew that we had, I think, one case in Minnesota, but I didn't notice anything different. And then suddenly, like all at once, it was this huge wave of schools being canceled, my brother coming home from college for the rest of like this spring. Anyone watching this now, I'm sure this is like, everyone knows this. I'm thinking years down the line, or if I'm, you know, my 30s or 40s and I watch this video back someday, I'm going to forget these details, so that's why I'm just adding them in now. But like, all the Disney parks are closed for the first time ever, all at the same time. NBA has suspended the rest of their season. Coachella's canceled. I think Stagecoach is canceled. I'm pretty sure VidCon's gonna be. They postponed The Bachelorette filming. Everyone is taking high precaution not to spread this. And like, the biggest thing for me is I want to go to the gym so badly. Like, I've gotten into such a good routine of working out every single day that not working out is killing me. So for the first time in like 5 years, I went for a run outside. Chances of catching coronavirus outside, especially when you're running, is like really low. It is airborne, but it's not like staying in the air. You know, you have to come into contact with someone. It's 35 degrees right now, so that run was freezing, and that's why I'm taking a shower at 6 p.m. But besides going on a run like around my neighborhood, I haven't left my house. I haven't like left the apartment. I haven't gone in my car driving anywhere. So technically Saturday, March 14th is the first full day of quarantine for me. I also have a very personal reason as to why I'm being so careful, which I will get into. I am currently wearing my new tank top from Target that I got yesterday that I showed you in the vlog that went up before this, so definitely check that out if you missed it. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. It reminds me of things that I wore as a child, and this was only $7, so definitely recommend. They have it in white, black, and this lime green, at least at my location. Office update. If you missed my last two videos, make sure you are caught up on that, because here is my sanctuary. Oh my gosh. I moved all of these succulent and cacti aloe plants that I put over in that window in the last vlog because I was so confused as to which window got more light. I moved them all back over here because during the day today, this south window got so much light, I just like knew that it should be over here. So that is where they live now. Also, this succulent, okay, I bought it with these two beautiful little yellow flowers, but I just noticed she's growing another one right there. It looks pink right now, but we're gonna have another bulb soon. I am so happy with my office. I've been getting a lot of work done here. It's just become such a motivating space that really just inspires me to work hard, and like, I want to work, so I find work to do. Since this is gonna be like a week in my life vlog, I don't want to make today's portion too long, but I did just want to talk about one thing. I kind of hate how I even have to justify why I'm being so careful and isolating myself like this, because a lot of my friends have been social pressuring me into thinking that it's not a big deal. A really like personal reason as to why I'm being this careful is because I've mentioned this a little bit here and there. I need to make a full video on this topic. I just don't even know how I would do it at this point. I've gone back and forth about this since before I started my YouTube channel, because it's something that I think if anyone else has gone through, I would have like loved seeing as a struggling young child that was going through this family situation, but now I've recovered from it so much that I don't even want to bring it up. But I do have a family member that had a super rare form of cancer, and now she has an even rarer form of something else that isn't curable. She lives a very handicapped, high-risk life. We have 24-hour nursing care, and she survives because of her ventilator. She doesn't have her own immune system. Even if a common cold or the flu or anything very like low-key happens in my family's house, it is serious, because if she comes into contact with it, it's a hospital stay, it's a risk. So with coronavirus, since we do have 24-hour nursing care, you know, home nurses that basically live with us, if anyone in my family gets coronavirus, if it has come into contact with that house, if I didn't know I had it and went over to my parents' place and then I got it and it was in their house, if I got my mom sick, if my siblings were sick, any of that, our nurses will not work in our home. My family member that needs those nurses will not have someone to medically take care of them in a way that not the average person knows how to take care of them because of all the high needs and like medical procedures that they need done every single day. My mom has been trained, so she knows how to care for them as a nurse. If my mom catches corona, she can't care for this person, so then they're toast. If this person who has all these medical conditions catches corona, it's in my head like game over. It's high risk. She doesn't have her own immune system. It's just a done deal. It's super scary. I also have a brother who uses a neb constantly, has intense asthma, so that's also scary. And it's weird because he is like super high risk for this, but my sister with the nurses, like she is even higher of a risk. So it's just like two birds, one stone. If this one was corona, basically. That's basically what's up right now and why I'm quarantining myself and trying to be careful. I'll check in with you guys either later tonight or tomorrow. I haven't done like a week in my life in forever, if ever at all. Like I've said, I feel like this issue is changing constantly. That's why I really wanted to document this. So I'm curious in like a month from now when this video goes up, what we will be experiencing. I've got my to-do list, my laptop, and then I have some apple cider vinegar with lemon and cayenne pepper. Let's get some work done. Update, Urban Outfitters just closed all of their stores globally. My mom said the Apple store was also closed at the mall by our house, and obviously it's been a couple hours. I'm in bed for the night and I feel like oh no. I'm sure I'm fine, right? I'm sure I'm fine. Actual panic, but I'm sure I'm okay. This was officially day 1 of self-isolation check. It's the next day, Sunday, about 2 p.m. I just got an update from the Minneapolis newspaper, but also like an update on my phone that all Minnesota schools, K through 12, are canceled starting Wednesday, and then some schools voluntarily canceled beginning Tuesday and Monday. But we're just trying to slow down the spread, so hopefully this helps. I'm currently working on a podcast episode outline so I can send it over to a guest. A little behind the scenes, if you guest star on my podcast, I write out a huge outline full of all the questions I'll ask you, and I send it over so you have time to think and approve of everything. I finished editing a video and I'll probably edit some more videos, keep vlogging. I don't know, I'm just like trying to stay busy. I want to go on a run again because it's 47 degrees today, so it's slightly warmer. So hopefully I can still get out there. I left to go pee, and when I came back, Marnie took my spot. Marnie! That really is the best spot in this room, isn't it? Do you want to write that outline for me? Oh, I feel so bad. I don't want to move her. Hey Luna. Plants are thriving. Look at them, happy in the sunlight. Okay girl, we're gonna have to share this. as you could tell by the time lapse, I just quickly cleaned my room. I've been needing to do this for like 2 weeks. I really let it pile up. I definitely used the endorphins after a quick run to clean my room. My mom went on a walk today at a nature center. So at the nature center, they had a poem on the trail. She said it was so timely. I won't redo the whole thing. My favorite line though is, I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. That is so beautiful and so perfect right now. I just really want to practice being a wild thing and not taxing any forethought on grief. I'm focusing on what I can control, like cleaning my space, going for a run, getting work done, vlogging, and trying to limit my time on social media because it tends to make me really anxious and scared. Today, Minnesota is at 35 cases. I'm probably gonna change out of my running gear and get some work done, try to enjoy some sunlight before the sun sets. It's day 3 quarantine. I didn't vlog a lot last night because my boyfriend and I decided to break up. It's for the best. I think we both just knew that it was time. Surprisingly, I feel okay about it, which, like, I haven't cried, and I don't want to get into it because that's not what this vlog is. I just wanted to mention it because now I'm getting over a breakup as well, and I can't leave my apartment or interact with other human beings. That makes it really difficult because I'm just stuck here with my feelings, so I'm sure I'll crack eventually. I just haven't cried yet. I texted him last night to say I miss you, and he goes, "Do you really?" And then that led to us splitting up. So I've turned to TikTok to help with my breakup emotions. So follow me on TikTok because I'm having a lot of fun being sad on that app. I just can't believe it. I feel like because it was over text, it's harder for me to process. He's gonna drop off all my things, and I told him just to wait until quarantine is over so we can have like an in-person conversation. And I feel like that's when it's going to hit me. Either A, I'll be over it by then and have some closure, or B, like seeing him and realizing like, oh shit, it's real and we did break up, then it will hit me then. I don't know what's going on. No one has ever broken up with me over text before, and this is a 33-year-old man, literally almost 34 years old, and he told me he would never break up with me over text, and here we are. And I have a lot to say, but I'm holding my tongue. For now, at least. We'll see. But I just finished recording another podcast episode. I'm just trying to grind out some content while I'm home right now. I did the running into your exes episode, and that ended on a very therapeutic little segment on my current breakup and kind of how I'm dealing with that and my fears with running into Tyler, because as many of you know, he lives where I live, so it's gonna happen. So I talk about that on my podcast. Go listen to that episode. We've got some news update. I just cannot get over the fact that this is going to be what future generations learn about in textbooks. So I want to document as much political, historical parts of it as I can while also staying authentic to like my own experience. Basically, the government says that we cannot have gatherings over 10 people. Oh, the other update. Psychics have predicted this. People are realizing that this is written in books that were published in like the 80s. In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchitis tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, attack again in 10 years, and then disappear completely. So that was written in the 1980s. Somebody else found a book by Sylvia Brown called Prophecy, What the Future Holds. So the author's a psychic. She's talking about some predictions. And she also writes, by 2020, we will see more people than ever wearing surgical masks and rubber gloves in public, inspired by an outbreak of a severe pneumonia-like illness that attacks both the lungs and the bronchial tubes and is ruthlessly resistant to treatment. This illness will be particularly baffling in that after causing a winter of absolute panic, which is exactly what the world is going through, it will seem to vanish completely until 10 years later, making both its source and its cure that much more mysterious. Like, these are older books before this ever happened. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories with that, but I just think it's so scary. Who knows what's gonna happen in 2030, but those are my updates. I've got the news on right now. The governor of Minnesota just announced that as of 5 p.m. tomorrow, he is closing restaurants, bars, sports places, you know, golf courses, bowling alleys, museums, like basically anything that doesn't have to be open right now is being shut down. And we also this coming because New York did this yesterday, so we were like on the right path, you know? I'm gonna have the news on and then make some dinner. I'm thinking tonight is the night to try this thing that I got from Trader Joe's. I hope it tastes like the one at Cheesecake Factory because that's really good. It's funny because the first time Tyler broke up with me, I couldn't eat for days days. I was having such bad anxiety. I vlogged the whole thing. Like, I lost so much weight, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, like I was sick. Whereas this time around, I'm fine. I mean, I'm not fine, but like I'm fine. And it just really goes to show that like my heart wasn't in it in the end and that this is the right decision. I'm gonna listen to the news, make some dinner, and I'll update you with, oh wait.
I'm really concerned it will overrun the capacity of our healthcare system, and that's why all of these social distancing recommendations are so important. Officials warning the outbreak could get worse before it gets better.
I've never been so interested in watching the news or politics before.
Seen in tents outside hospitals to stop the spread inside. Thousands now fighting for their lives. There can be no funerals in Italy, only names in the paper. Pages and pages of obituaries for those claimed by corona. The dead laid to rest unaccompanied. South Korea was hit around the same time, but has recorded just 75 deaths. Europe holds its breath to avoid infection, today issuing a 30-day ban on all non-essential travel to the EU. But America's closest ally, Britain, is slower than others, only today advising people to stay home.
I don't even think I changed clothes today, so that's quarantine day 3 for you. These last couple of hours though, I have been trying to learn a TikTok dance because that is my quarantine goal. The University of Minnesota just canceled commencement, which would be early May, so the seniors are not walking for graduation. The president today said that this could last until July, maybe August. It's March right now, so that thought is super scary. My dad is still going to work. He's working for the city that my parents live in. He is in charge of filtering water on tap waters and stuff so that it's drinkable for everyone in the city. He unfortunately cannot stay home and they need him. When you think about it, it's like they need him to supply healthy drinking water so that everyone in that city can be able to have running water, to be able to wash their hands so that they stay safe. So he's putting himself at risk so other people stay safe. Makes him sound kind of like a hero. I also learned today that the US only has about 12,000 ventilators, which is so not a lot. My sister has been on a vent for over 10 years, so I'm very familiar with ventilators. I had no idea that we didn't have a lot here. Something that 2020 said tonight too is that this is our new normal, and that's terrifying to think that we are now living in what will be our new normal for months. Like, damn, I miss life. I miss all the freedom. I miss my family and my friends, and like Easter's coming up. My mom's birthday is next week. It's gonna be a weird year. Day 4 of quarantine. I just got back from a run. This is the first time I could go on a run since the breakup. So like, oh my god, that helped so much just with built up tension and sadness and anger, just to be able to run it out. I've never tried that method of healing heartbreak before, but it helped so much. I wanted to start today's portion of the vlog because something that I realized helped me a lot is I started journaling yesterday. Let me show you. I'm like out of breath and sweating, but for some reason I have to do this now. I was actually inspired by this iconic book right here. Not to compare what we're going through to anything that she went through or the Holocaust or World War II, but it reminded me the importance of writing down your day, because you never know like what part of history that will be. So, inspired by Anne Frank, but in no way comparing myself to her. I have started the Corona Diaries. There's my little virus doodle. I want to add like a ton more ballpoint pen doodles here. For now, I mean, this was my entry yesterday. Because it was day 3, but like I had to give an update on like everything that's been going on, because I realized that I'm starting to forget like what I do during the day, what day it is, if I did anything, even if I took like emergency or my vitamin yet that day. So I realized I need to start documenting every single day and try to make it stand out and still feel special, even though I can barely leave my house and I'm just trying to distract myself from so many things. So let's take a shower real quick and then I'll get this vlog started. Hey, where were we? Oh no! Every time I cough now, I'm like terrified, but I did just go for a run and it was like 45 degrees, so it's like warm out, but I mean, that's still cold. So maybe I'm just catching pneumonia. I'm starting to notice some like depression kind of thoughts pop up again, but I don't think I'm depressed. I'm just like stuck in my house. Like, oh, what's the point of getting out of bed? What's the point of like changing outfits? What's the point of showering? So I'm just trying really hard to like counteract those thoughts and continue on taking care of myself and vlogging vlogging is giving me a reason. Like, what's the point of putting on deodorant? Like, I'm not leaving my house. Vlogging is giving me a reason to shower. Like, I would not be showering still if I wasn't filming. Thank you for giving me a reason to be taking care of myself. I'm going to try to edit my office transformation video that you should definitely check out. I might film another podcast episode. For some reason, that's been super easy for me to be doing. I like talking, and I think it's because I am like talking to someone, and I'm going through this breakup, so it's just like helps, because my podcast is called Breaking Up, and it's all about breakups, so it's been really therapeutic for me at this time. Maybe start a new book tonight. I finished Note to Self by Connor Franta the other night, so I'm gonna start To Hell with the Hustle, I think. A lot has happened since last night when I gave you that update. It was announced yesterday that the Met Gala in April is also postponed. Some local grocery stores are now making it where the first 2 hours of store hours are primarily just for those at high risk. It was announced that Italians over the age of 80 will be left to die because they have to choose who to put on ventilators, and they're doing it by health and age. So if you're over 80, you will not be receiving a ventilator, which is so sad and so scary. The stock market is the lowest it has ever been ever in history. A lot of people are worried that this will bring us into a recession once the coronavirus is over. Oh, this one is kind of just like light humor. It's sad, but it's better news than like death and dying, is that since the isolation and quarantine regulations have been in place, there's been a spike in divorce rates in China. A lot of people also believe that there will be a spike in babies being born within 9 to 10 months after this. Oh, and the first vaccine has been administered for testing in Seattle. It will take about 12 to 18 months before we can receive vaccinations for corona, but this is a big step, you know? It's gonna help us in history. It might not help people today, but it will help the people of tomorrow. So the Minnesota Legislature House just passed a $200 million bill to help the pandemic, and this is going to go to the medical community, like hospitals and drugs and testing and equipment and all that. European leaders agree to shut down external borders. Okay, so now borders are being shut down. This is totally gonna be a history exam in like 20 years. I also want to sketch my new office in my journal to document that. I'll check in a bit. I've been wanting to do this for a few days just to document the process of having a new beautiful space. Now I have a beautiful little sketch of my office. Checking in, it's about 11:30 right now. I learned my TikTok dance tonight. I got a lot better. I'm gonna insert the clip here, obviously without the music. I'm doing it, I'm making moves. I think I'm just going to dedicate like an hour of my life every single day during quarantine to work on that dance, because the improvement from yesterday to today is impeccable. I kind of feel like playing the ukulele. I haven't played it in like, honestly, maybe like 4 years. Let's distract ourselves with some music and song and have a good night. I haven't played the ukulele in like literally 5 years, and I have lost all memory of how to play it. It's easier in the sense where your fingers don't have to like move so much to get to the next chord, but it's harder. All the chords that you know on guitar aren't exactly where your fingers are supposed to be. So when I see that the chord is G, I immediately want to put my hand like in the position for G chord on guitar, and it's different on the uke. That's it for tonight. I'll check in tomorrow. I feel like I went from trying every single day to this. So What up? It's quarantine day 5. I have one plan today, and that is to record a podcast episode with my friend Bailey. Today our numbers have spiked from 60 to 77. Only 2,700 people have been tested. We actually have a shortage of tests right now, so they're only testing hospital patients, medical employees, and nursing homes. All salons have been ordered to close, like hair salons, nail salons. My lash lady reached out last night, which is fine because I was expecting that. On the bright side, at least I have my kitty cats here with me. Everyone keeps saying this is the new normal, which is scary, but I'm just trying to remind myself that this is all temporary. Well, it's the end of quarantine day 5, so today I was lucky enough to be able to go on a walk with my mom. In my head, I was like, oh, this is kind of risky, but we were outside in fresh air, and she and I were both have been quarantining, so hopefully it's okay. It was really nice to talk to her. I also recorded a podcast episode with my friend Bailey tonight, so that was really nice just to have something on the schedule to be able to like do and talk to somebody with, so that was awesome. I'm going to edit my next YouTube video. I'm about to start reading To Hell with the Hustle. I also need to journal for my day. Day 6 tomorrow.
Chair even or on the couch for this first moment. We're just going to tune in. You can come on down to the ground.
It's the song in the car. I keep singing, don't know why I do. I'll do anything you say if you say it with your hands. I'd be smart to walk away, but you're quicksand. So there we are again in the middle of the night, dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. Down the stairs, I was there, I remember it all too well. I do remember the swing of your step, the life of the party, you're showing off again, and I roll my eyes and then you pull me in. I'm not much for dancing, but for you I did, because I love your hands, and there's not a day I don't miss those rude interruptions. But oh, sit on the floor wearing your clothes. It's past midnight. I'm getting ready for bed. Minnesota's up to 89 cases. The Mayo Clinic just announced that they are now testing 4,000 tests a day, so that should hopefully help a ton with accurate numbers. I got to the point where I'm just like watching anything on Netflix, so I watched He's Just Not That Into You, a comedy special by this girl named Taylor something, and then this movie with Andy from The Office called The Clapper with Amanda Seyfried. It was okay. I got into like the sappy mood during that movie, and I was inspired by the glass of wine that I had. I am a big writer. Like, writing is my #1 thing that like makes me feel sane. But whenever I like feel like I have a sentence in my mind, let me just share it with you, because after I write a poem, I have to like speak it into existence and say it out loud and share it with someone just to get it out there to see like what it's actually like. So this is the first draft of something I wrote. It's called History. I loved how you fell more in love with me inside a museum, full of fossil bones, dust, and electricity, covered in plaques of people before us who walked upon the ground you stumbled on, following me. Around the earth is spinning. I always said your eyes looked like planets. But inside the silence of ceramic sound, we find terracotta porcelain pores. You wrap your arms around mine, locked in 1300 BC, and I realize you love me more with history inside of me. This poem is about one of my older exes, not the most recent one. We went to so many art museums together. He always got super lovey-dovey inside museums. That yearning to like learn or like know something was very attractive to him, and I don't know, maybe it was like the silence or the art, but like we went to so many museums. I always felt like he loved me more inside of the museums. I'll check in tomorrow. Welcome to day 7 of quarantine. I went for a run, thank God. I can't believe it's been a full week. I think the best news that came out of this whole thing thing is that gas prices have never been so cheap. Gas right now is only $2.04 in my area, and as soon as that drops down to in the dollar range, I am driving to that gas station and filling up my car. As expected, Minnesota is now up to 115 cases, and we tested 38,000 people. Since it's been 9 days since the first Minnesota outbreak, hopefully we see some recovered cases soon. Hi, I'm ending the video. We're back to Saturday. I honestly cannot believe I have done this for a week. It's just so crazy that like a week ago it was relatively normal, and now there are travel bans. Oh my gosh, flights are $20. 20 bucks. I will never see flights that low, but I mean for good reason, because there's a travel ban. Numbers though, I think I started this week at what, like 9 cases in Minnesota. We are at 139 cases, and we had our first death in Minnesota. I think we also had like 6 recoveries. Kind of nervous to see what week 2 brings. I miss my family, I miss my friends. I need to talk to my ex-boyfriend to get that closure and to get all my stuff back. The only thing keeping me sane through all of this is TikTok, so I've been posting a lot of content on there. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope that everyone is staying safe. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, this will all be part of history and we'll move past it. I really don't know what the future holds right now, which is what makes this so scary, but thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure that you leave a like, it does help. Comment down below, and that you're subscribed, turn on the bell, and I always shout out the first comment on my social media, so be sure that you're following me on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all of that. Stay safe out there, guys. I'll see you real soon with my next video. Bye! I was so hurt and upset that I never gave him another chance.